the Sultan of Hind, the contributions of Khwaja Mu'in al-Din Chishti to Sufism and the spiritual civilization of India. Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Sufi Essence with Hammad Syed. In the vast spiritual firmament of Islam, a constellation of saints and masters illuminates the path to divine proximity. Among these luminous stars, few shine as brightly as Khwaja Mu'in al-Din Chishti, the Sultan of Hind, whose life and legacy are inextricably linked to the spiritual landscape of the Indian subcontinent. His arrival in Ajmer in the 12th century marked a pivotal moment in the history of Islam, not merely as a historical event, but as a spiritual advent that profoundly transformed the religious, social, and cultural fabric of the region. Khwaja Sahib's contribution to Sufism transcends mere hagiography. It represents a systematic and spiritual methodology for the propagation of faith and the establishment of a compassionate society. He did not come as a conqueror with a sword, but as a spiritual physician with a message of divine love, human dignity, and selfless service. His teachings and his very presence were a powerful antidote to the social and religious tensions of his time, offering a path of spiritual enlightenment that was open to all, regardless of caste, creed, or social status. Our discourse today will be a comprehensive, structural, and exhaustive scholarly exploration of the monumental contributions of Khwaja Mu'in al-Din Chishti to Sufism. In this extensive script, we will argue that his legacy is a testament to the power of a spiritual leader to shape the destiny of an entire civilization through the force of his character, the depth of his spiritual realization, and the universality of his message. We will meticulously unpack his teachings, from his concept of divine love to his practical methodology for social and spiritual reform. We will delve into his profound understanding of Tawhid, divine unity, his emphasis on the purification of the heart, and the enduring institution of the Chishti order that he founded. This is not just a lecture on a historical figure. It is a profound journey into the heart of a spiritual master whose love for all and humanity continues to inspire millions to this day. Part 1. The Genesis of a Spiritual Sultan. Life and Early Journey. To understand the monumental contributions of Khwaja Mu'in al-Din Chishti, we must first embark on a journey back to his origins. He was born in 1141 CE in Sistine, a region that is now part of modern-day Afghanistan and Iran. His lineage, traced through his father, was a noble one, connecting him to the family of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. His early life was marked by a deep sense of piety and a rigorous adherence to the divine law Sharia. He studied under the guidance of renowned scholars of his time. The formative years of a spiritual master are often the crucible in which their destiny is forged, and for Khwaja Sahib, this was no different. His early life was not one of mystical visions and extraordinary occurrences, but one of disciplined study, moral rectitude, and a profound search for spiritual truth. The turning point in his life came after a series of profound encounters. The first was with a dervish, Ibrahim Kanduzi, who, upon encountering the young Khwaja, was so moved by his spiritual potential that he prayed for him and advised him to renounce the world. This encounter planted the seed of renunciation in his heart. The second, and more decisive encounter, was with his spiritual master, Khwaja Uthman Haruni. This meeting marked the beginning of his formal spiritual journey, Sulak, on the path of Tasawwuf. For over 2 decades, Khwaja Mu'in al-Din served his master with unwavering devotion, traveling with him on pilgrimages and engaging in rigorous spiritual training. This period was not just an intellectual apprenticeship, it was a profound process of inner transformation, a dismantling of the ego nafs, and a reconstruction of the heart kalb. Under the meticulous guidance of a spiritual master, Khwaja Uthman Haruni, a master of the Chishti order, initiated him into the secrets of the spiritual path. The Chishti order, which originated in the town of Chishti in modern-day Afghanistan, was renowned for its emphasis on divine love, selfless service, Khidma-e-Khalq, and the purification of the heart through music sama. These were the spiritual principles that Khwaja Mu'in al-Din inherited from his master, and they would become the foundational pillars of his own spiritual mission in India. The 20-year spiritual journey with his master was a testament to his humility and his unwavering commitment to the path. It was a journey that prepared him not just to be a spiritual master, but to be a spiritual monarch, a sultan of hearts, who would establish a spiritual empire that would outlive the political dynasties of his time. After receiving his spiritual mantle from Khwaja Uthman Haruni, he was given a divine command and a vision to go to India and establish the Chishti order there. Ali's command was a moment of supreme destiny. He was to be a spiritual pioneer, a messenger of divine love to a land that was ripe for a spiritual awakening. He set out on his journey, first visiting various spiritual centers and engaging with other masters of his time, before finally arriving in the city of Ajmer, a city that was then a center of political and religious power, and the seat of a powerful Hindu king, Prithviraj Chauhan. His arrival in Ajmer was not one of fanfare and grand processions. It was the quiet entry of a dervish, a man of simple means and profound spiritual power, whose presence would, over time, change the course of history. Part 2. The Chishti Methodology. Foundations of a Spiritual Civilization. Khwaja Mu'in al-Din Chishti's greatest contribution to Sufism is not just his own spiritual perfection, but the systematic and practical methodology established for the propagation of the Chishti order in India. His approach was not one of aggressive proselytization, but one of passive presence, of embodying the spiritual truths of Islam through his character, his conduct, and his profound love for humanity. The Chishti methodology, as articulated and lived by him, was a comprehensive spiritual and social program that aimed at the inner transformation of the individual and the compassionate service of the community. The foundational pillars of the Chishti order, as established by him, are Tawhid and Wahdat, al-Wujud, divine unity. At the core of all of his teachings was the concept of Tawhid, the absolute oneness of Allah. But for the Chishtis, Tawhid was not just a theological concept, it was a lived, experiential reality. It was a reality that led to the profound realization of Wahdat al-Wujud, the unity of being, a concept that posits that all of creation is a manifestation of the single divine essence. This concept had a profound social and ethical consequence. If all of creation is a manifestation of Allah, then all human beings, regardless of their religious beliefs, are interconnected and worthy of respect and love. This was the theological foundation for the Chishti's radical inclusivity and their emphasis on human dignity. They saw Allah in everyone, and they loved everyone for the sake of Allah. Ishki Hakichi, divine love. The spiritual path of the Chishtis is the path of love. Khwaja Mu'in al-Din taught that the most effective way to attain proximity to Allah is through the path of ishq, love. This love is not a romantic or emotional love. It is a profound, all-consuming, and transformative love for Allah that purifies the heart and elevates the soul. He taught that this divine love must first be cultivated through a deep and sincere love for the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and the family of the Prophet, who are the living embodiments of divine love. The love for the Prophet, peace be upon him, is the bridge that connects the seeker to Allah. This emphasis on love made the Chishti path accessible to everyone, as love is a universal human experience that transcends all religious and cultural boundaries. Khidma-e-Khalq, selfless service to humanity. For Khwaja Mu'in al-Din, divine love was not an abstract concept, but a living reality that had to be manifested in one's actions. The ultimate expression of divine love was selfless service to humanity. He taught that the best form of worship is not just prayer and fasting, but serving the poor, the sick, and the needy. His own life was a testament to this principle. He and his disciples lived a life of extreme poverty, often going without food, but they always made sure that no one who came to their Khanka spiritual center left hungry. The langar, the free community kitchen that is a hallmark of the Chishti shrines to this day, is a living legacy of his commitment to selfless service. This emphasis on service made Sufism a powerful force for social good, a force that was deeply compassionate and radically egalitarian. Sama, spiritual music. The Chishti order is unique in its emphasis on Sama, a spiritual gathering where devotional music, particularly Qawwali, is performed. Khwaja Mu'in al-Din Chishti taught that music, when performed with the right intention and with a profound sense of divine love, has the power to purify the heart, to awaken the soul, and to transport the seeker to a state of profound divine presence. For him, Sama was not entertainment. It was a form of worship, a spiritual technology that could open the heart to the divine. The Qawwali music, with its rich poetry and powerful melodies, became a powerful tool for the propagation of the Chishti message of love and unity. It was a spiritual language that transcended the barriers of formal religious discourse and spoke directly to the heart. Taski al-Nafs, purification of the soul. All of these practices were aimed at one ultimate goal, the purification of the soul. Khwaja Mu'in al-Din Chishti taught that the spiritual journey is an inner battle, a continuous struggle against the lower, ego-driven self-nafs. The Chishti methodology, with its emphasis on divine love, selfless service, and spiritual music, was a systematic and practical program for the purification of the soul. The continuous remembrance of al-Dhikr, the spiritual retreat Khalwa, and the companionship of the spiritual guide Sheikh were all practices that were aimed at dismantling the ego and reconstructing the heart, so that it could become a pure mirror that reflects the divine light. Part 3. The Sultan of Hind. The spiritual conquest of India. The term Sultan of Hind is not just a title. It is a profound testament to the spiritual and social impact of Khwaja Mu'in al-Din Chishti on India. His arrival in Ajmer was, in essence, a spiritual conquest, a conquest of hearts that had a far more profound and lasting impact than any military conquest. He did not come with an army. He came with a message of peace, love, and divine unity. His presence in Ajmer, a city that was then a stronghold of religious orthodoxy and political power, was a deliberate and strategic spiritual act. He chose to establish his center in the heart of the political and religious establishment to demonstrate that the power of divine love was far greater than the power of any king or any religious institution. The initial years in Ajmer were not without their challenges. He faced resistance from the local establishment, who saw his presence as a threat to their own authority. But Khwaja Mu'in al-Din met this resistance not with confrontation, but with compassion, patience, and profound spiritual power. His spiritual presence was so powerful that it drew people from all walks of life, including Hindus, who were deeply moved by his message of love and his radical hospitality. The people who came to his Khanqa were not just seekers of spiritual truth. They were people who were suffering from poverty, disease, and social injustice. Khwaja Sahib's response was not just a spiritual discourse, but a practical act of service. He fed the hungry, healed the sick, and offered comfort to the brokenhearted. His compassion was not limited by religious boundaries, saw all human beings as children of Allah, and treated them with equal love and respect. His teachings on Tawhid and Wahdat al-Wujud had a profound impact on the religious landscape of India. The concept of the oneness of all existence resonated deeply with the Advaita Vedanta philosophy of Hinduism, which also posits the ultimate unity of all reality. This shared spiritual language became a bridge between the two faiths, a language of the heart that transcended the rigid boundaries of religious dogma. Khwaja Sahib's teachings were a powerful force for religious harmony, a force that taught people to see the divine not just in the mosque, but in the temple, not just in their own faith, but in the faith of others. The spiritual empire that he established in Ajmer was not a political empire. It was a spiritual order that was dedicated to the inner transformation of the individual and the compassionate service of the community. His disciples, who came from all walks of life, were trained not just in spiritual practices, but in the art of selfless service. They were sent out to different parts of India to establish their own Khanqas and to spread the Chishti message of love and unity. This was the genesis of the Chishti order in India, a spiritual institution that would, over the centuries, produce a galaxy of saints and masters, including Khwaja Qutb-al-Din Bakhtiar Kaki, Baba Farid Ganjakar, and Sheikh Nizam al-Din Auliya, who would continue to spread the Chishti message throughout the Indian subcontinent. The ultimate testament to his spiritual conquest is the fact that his shrine in Ajmer is one of the most revered and visited spiritual centers in the world. Millions of people, from all faiths and from all parts of the world, visit his shrine every year to seek his blessings and to pay homage to the spiritual master who taught them the power of divine love. The shrine is not just a tomb. It is a living testament to the spiritual legacy of a man who conquered the hearts of a nation with nothing but his love for awe and his compassion for humanity. Part 4. The Chishti Legacy. Enduring Principles and Modern Relevance. The legacy of Khwaja Mu'in al-Din Chishti is not confined to the history books or the walls of his shrine. It is a living, breathing spiritual tradition that continues to shape the lives of millions. His teachings and the principles he established have a profound relevance for the modern world. A world that is often torn by religious intolerance, social injustice, and a spiritual vacuum. The enduring principles of the Chishti order, as established by him, are radical inclusivity and human dignity. In a world that is often defined by religious and social divisions, the Chishti message of radical inclusivity and human dignity is more relevant than ever. Khwaja Mu'in al-Din taught that Allah's love is not limited to one religion or one community. It is a universal love that encompasses all of creation. He taught people to see the divine in everyone and to treat everyone with equal respect and love. This was a revolutionary message in his time, and it remains a revolutionary message in our time. His legacy is a powerful antidote to religious fanaticism and social prejudice, a force that teaches people to build bridges instead of walls. The priority of the heart over the outer form. In a world that is often obsessed with the outer form of religion, with rituals and dogmas, the Chishti emphasis on the purification of the heart is a profound reminder of the true essence of faith. Khwaja Mu'in al-Din taught that the ultimate purpose of religion is not to follow a set of rules, but to transform one's inner self, to purify one's heart, and to establish a profound and intimate relationship with Allah. This was not a message of antinomianism. It was a message that taught that the outer form of religion must be animated by the inner spirit of love and devotion. Without the heart, the outer form is hollow. Selfless service as the highest form of worship. In a world that is often defined by self-interest and consumerism, the Chishti message of selfless service is a powerful call to a life of meaning and purpose. Khwaja Mu'in al-Din taught that the best way to serve Allah is to serve humanity. His own life was a living example of this principle, a life of extreme poverty, but a life of profound generosity. His legacy is a powerful reminder that true worship is not just what we do in the mosque or the temple. It is what we do in our daily lives, in our interactions with others, in our commitment to social justice, and in our compassion for the poor and the needy. The role of the spiritual master. In a world that is often characterized by a spiritual vacuum, the Chishti emphasis on the role of the spiritual master is a profound reminder of the importance of spiritual guidance. Khwaja Mu'in al-Din taught that the spiritual journey is too treacherous to be undertaken alone. The spiritual master is not a person who claims to be a divine being. He is a guide, a spiritual physician who can diagnose the diseases of the heart and provide the seeker with the necessary spiritual remedies. The institution of the spiritual master, which he established, is a living testament to the fact that spiritual knowledge is not just a matter of books, but a matter of living experience, a knowledge that is passed down from heart to heart. Sama as a spiritual technology. The Chishti's use of spiritual music is a profound reminder of the power of art to be a vehicle for spiritual enlightenment. In a world where music is often used for distraction and entertainment, the Chishti's use of Sama is a powerful reminder that music can also be a profound spiritual technology, a language of the heart that can transport the seeker to a state of profound divine presence. This was a revolutionary concept in his time, and it remains a revolutionary concept in our time. A concept that teaches us to see the divine not just in the mosque, but in the melody, not just in the prayer, but in the poetry. The legacy of Khwaja Mu'in al-Din Chishti is, in essence, the legacy of a spiritual civilization. He did not just found a spiritual order, he founded a way of life, a way of being, that was characterized by divine love, selfless service, and a profound respect for all of humanity. His teachings are a powerful antidote to the religious intolerance and social injustice of our time, a force that continues to inspire millions to seek a path of love, compassion, and spiritual enlightenment. His life is a testament to the fact that the greatest power is not the power of the sword, but the power of the heart, the power to love, the power to serve, and the power to transform. Thank you for joining us on this intellectual and spiritual journey. Please subscribe to our channel to continue our exploration of the rich and profound essence of Sufism.